guys, it's Gabby here and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a video on how I used this setup behind me to go about taking a unique self-portrait that I'm going to end up using as a headshot. So even though I'm a photographer and I have lots of friends that are photographers as well, people I went to school with, other professionals, I've gotten into a rut that I think a lot of people get into where you get one self-portrait done or one like professional headshot done and you just stick with it. You don't get another one done, you don't think about getting another one done, you like it, you love it, you keep it. It can be time consuming, cost a lot of money, and be a little scary if your appearance has changed to get a new headshot. But it's really good to make sure that your headshot or your profile picture really reflects who you are. So basically, I've had the headshot that I've been using for about 5 years now. So that's quite a long time, and although it still looks like me, I needed something that was going to reflect me a little bit more. I do really love the headshot that I've been using. It was taken in college by one of my closest friends who is also a photographer. Her name is Shelby Bella, and I'll link her website below so you guys can go and check out her work too. And it's an amazing headshot. I have been developing as my own, and my work has developed, and honestly, I think my appearance has changed a little bit since then. So I wanted to take a new headshot. For this project, I really wanted to challenge myself to create a portrait that would both reflect myself and reflect my current work and the style of the work that I do, which is very colorful and a bit out there and unique in itself. So this video is going to be about how I set that up and went about creating that portrait that I am now using as a headshot. Now, I understand that there are guidelines on headshots and not everyone can use the same type of headshot, and they're very specific to your work, but since I'm a photographer and I work for myself, I wanted to create something that really represented my work and represented me and was fun and unique and showed sort of a little bit of my character and my personal style. Now, I'm going to show you guys what my setup was like. So basically, in the beginning of creating this self-portrait, I chose a reflector to use as a cutout to make a circle that I could stand between these two backdrops. So I had my flower backdrop taped to the wall, and I chose this neutral sort of solid backdrop. I sort of knew that I wanted pink, but I decided to go with a more neutral color so that I could change it in Photoshop afterwards to really whatever color I wanted. And when I was using this reflector to sort of trace around, I wanted to try and position it so that when I hung this solid backdrop over the flower backdrop that I had taped to the wall, I wanted it to be in a position where I could easily sit on a stool behind it. As you can see, I started cutting out with scissors, but that didn't quite work out. So I grabbed my X-Acto knife, and I have it laid out over the ground on the carpet, so I kind of had to be careful not to cut through onto my carpet. I basically just went around cutting out the trace that I had made of this reflector. Also, another thing to mention when using an X-Acto knife, you guys, please be careful. I cut my finger so bad, and I used a masking tape and a tissue to create a homemade band-aid. So after I was done cutting out the trace of the reflector, I had to hang up my backdrop, and just make sure if you do try this that you hang your backdrop far enough away from the other backdrop so that you can easily stand between the two of them. So I left about 1.5 feet between the solid backdrop that I just hung and the flower backdrop that was taped onto the wall. And it was just enough to have a stool back there and sit back there. And this is me basically just testing out if it's the right height, the right level to get my camera going as well. I just went ahead and secured the bottom of the backdrop to the stool that I had sitting back there, and I also used A-clamps to kind of hold down the backdrop as well. That's a really great tip I have to hold your backdrop down, is to just heavy weight it down with a bit of A-clamps. Next, I put on my makeup and I chose a cute outfit, and I use a trigger to fire the camera automatically. And then basically I just got up there and started serving the looks. I would say I probably took about 40 pictures before I scrolled through them and found one that I kind of liked for what I was thinking the main shot would be. So this was my main shot. This is just the raw file. And then I'm gonna click on and off what I did on Photoshop just to give you guys an idea of what I did. I wanted it to be a bit more light, bright, have this nice flash effect. And I also wanted it to be a little bit more of a warped sort of wide angle type of look as well. And also I did change my backdrop to pink. You guys know me, I do love a good pink backdrop, so I ended up changing my solid neutral to pink. So before and after, you can see I increased the saturation and this sort of warped effect as well. So this is the final image, you guys can see. And this is how I'm using it on my website. So that's my About Me page. I put it in a little circular cutout, and I really think that it turned out great. So I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions, just leave a comment below. And if you want to see more of my videos coming up, please subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.